police are making a fresh appeal to the public for information relating to the death of Mallory Manning in December 2008. Mallory, who was also known by the name Manning, was only 27 years old when she was sexually assaulted and murdered. She was dearly loved by her whānau, and 13 years on, police continue their search, knowing the vital information leading to those responsible is in sight.
Hey everyone, it's TJ. Welcome to New Zealand Mysteries. I've been away for a little while sorting some stuff out, but I really wanted to grab this story. It is in the headlines at the moment and I want it to sort of stay that way. We're looking into the brutal death of this beautiful young lady, Mallory Manning. She was, like I say, brutally murdered in Christchurch in 2008 in New Zealand, and we're going to look at some more details. I put a warning out. There are some details that may be disturbing to some viewers, so please heed that warning. And I just wanted to say that I'm not going to tolerate any backlash or nasty comments about the fact that she was a sex worker. Prostitution is legal in New Zealand, and no matter what she done or what you think of what she done, she deserves to have her story told. Her whānau deserve justice, and that's why we do this. So I'm not going to tolerate any bullshit about what she did. Let's get into it. So this is a report on facebook.com/police107. I'm going to have the link in the description box below to everything, even this. So if you want to go and watch the full 4-minute story, then please do so. But now we're going to look at nzherald.co.nz. This was released on 10th of September 2021, so just a few weeks ago. Mallory Manning, cold case murder. Police launch fresh appeal into 2008 sex worker's death. Detectives have launched a fresh appeal for information from the public in relation to the 2008 murder of Christchurch sex worker Mallory Manning. Ngātai Lynette Manning, Mallory, or known as Mel, was picked up from her usual spot at Christchurch's red light district on the corner of Manchester and Peterborough Streets on the night of Thursday, December 18th, 2008, and was brutally murdered. She hadn't been doing this work for a few months. I think she'd had a break, but it was coming up to Christmas and she really needed money. And we all know that stress. The 27-year-old's battered body was dumped in the Avon River. Police have always believed that many people were involved in her grisly killing. And today, nearly 13 years after her death, police have put out a fresh call to try and get new leads into the case. Detective Inspector Greg Merton said, in particular, we are looking or seeking to identify male B, whose DNA profile was obtained from a semen sample located during a post-mortem examination. Mallory had been a street worker for many years and was described by Merton as being a streetwise, feisty young lady who knew all about the dangers of her business. He said Mel had not been seen on the street for some time, but it was close to Christmas and she wanted to earn money to buy Christmas presents for her family, he said. That night, Mallory was offered a ride into town and arrived at her corner at about 9:30 p.m. Manchester Street is a busy central city road, and with Christmas around the corner, the inner city was busy with vehicle and pedestrian traffic. There were many sightings of Mallory at the time, standing on her corner looking for business. She was wearing a distinctive pink shirt and a blue and white polka dot bikini top. Between 9:30 p.m. and 10:35 p.m, Manning is known to have had 2 clients. They have been identified and spoken to by police. The last known sighting of Mallory was at about 10:35 to 10:40 p.m. at her corner. She was in possession of her own cell phone, and she sent a series of texts to one of her previous clients that night at about 10:43 p.m. The cell site data on that text indicates that she was on the move, likely in a vehicle, and had left her corner, police say. At about 6:40 a.m. on Friday, December the 19th, 2008, Mallory's body was found floating in the Avon River near Dallington Terrace. And in that Police 107 little article that they did, they've got a bit more info about the mapping situation and where she was found and that sort of thing. Operation Dallington, the investigation into her death was commenced. Merton said this investigation has now been going for approximately 13 years and it has been a complex and challenging investigation. It was clear that Mel was subjected to a prolonged and violent assault that caused her death. He said it's also the belief of the investigation team that due to the nature of her injuries, a number of persons were involved in her death. So the big thing that we're going in on at the moment is there was lots of people, they believe lots of people were involved in her death. A post-mortem examination was undertaken and a semen sample was located from which a DNA profile was obtained, which is referred to as the male B sample. The known clients who had been with Manning on that Thursday evening have been eliminated as male B. The investigation team was extremely hopeful at the time that the male B DNA sample would be matched to someone on the criminal DNA database, Merton said. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I find that quite interesting too, because you'd think that someone that could do this would have previously done some crime and be on the DNA database. But yeah. He said considerable time and effort has been spent by an investigation team to obtain DNA samples from persons of interest over the last 13 years who were not on the criminal DNA database. Unfortunately, we have not been able to identify male B. Now, information is sought from members of the public who may have information as to the identity of male B or have any other information as to who was involved in Manning's death and what occurred that night. Merton said, please urge these people to come forward to give the family some closure. And this is what it's all about, guys. It's about giving Mallory a voice and her family a voice and helping them to find some sort of closure or justice. Anyone who has information which may assist is asked to call police on 105 and quote Operation Dellington. Information can also be provided anonymously by ringing Crimestoppers on 0800 555 111. So just quickly before we move on, I'm going to have all these details in the description box below. So Crimestoppers 0800 555 111 is anonymous, guys. It really is. Go to Crimestoppers online if you need to. Call 105 or you can go online or just contact your local police station. nzmissing@gmail.com if you want to talk to me. buymeacoffee.com/NZ Mysteries. Thank you so much for everyone that's gone there and shouted me a coffee. It's just so appreciated and I really, really love the support. So thank you so much. There's other ways to donate in the description box below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to all so you get any updates. Thank you so much. Let's get back to it. Now, we did talk about the fact that there was many people involved in this, and we're going to get some more details about that in this article. Now, please, some of the details are not nice, and I'm going to try and skip those and get to the facts if I can. So this is from stuff.co.nz, Life in Jail for Mallory Manning Murder. This was in 2014. The jailing of a mongrel mob gang prospect for killing a Christchurch sex worker is not the end of the police investigation into her death. This morning, Mr. Fawcett was jailed for at least 20 years as part of his life sentence for the murder of Mallory Manning, a killing the Crown described as barbaric and senseless. In a statement released after the Christchurch High Court sentencing, Detective Senior Sergeant Brian Archer said the police investigation remained open and active. Fawcett's conviction and sentencing was a significant step in the inquiry. He said there is, however, no dispute that other people were also involved in this murder and police are continuing to actively pursue those individuals, he said. And that's what we need to help these guys with. We need those other people involved. Archer urged anyone with information that could help police identify the other offenders to come forward. He thanked witnesses who gave evidence at the trial and extended his sympathy to Manning's family and friends. And we, on behalf of New Zealand Mysteries, also extend our sympathy to her family and friends, and I hope that we are helping. The sentencing of a 26-year-old mongrel mob gang prospect, Fawcett, comes 2 months after a jury found him guilty on December the 18th or of the December 18th, 2008 murder. Fawcett has always denied his direct involvement in the killing of Mallory. Shamey said Fawcett had been a fully dedicated member of the gang. He had fully embraced the gang life and what occurred on this evening. Fawcett had been actively involved in the homicide by picking Mallory up and taking her to a property in Galbraith Avonside where the killing occurred. So I do have this map of, obviously this is where Manchester Street and Peterborough Street is, and Galbraith Ave is over here. Very populated area. The murder had been carried out as a planned gang hit. His court-appointed legal advisor, Greg Ruane, told the court that Fawcett had been found guilty of being a party to murder, but the court must make it clear at the sentencing what role it found the man played in the killing. If the court found that his role had been as a lookout to find Mallory and to open up the gang pad, the court could conclude that he played a relatively minor role in something which spiralled out of his control. He submitted that the court should be wary of attributing any blame to Fawcett other than as a party on the periphery of the killing. In some articles it says that he was complicit in the assault, which happened with many people and many items. It's very gruesome, and I'm choosing not to go through those details. The details are in this article, so if you want to go into them, please go in the description box below, but for this video I am choosing not to go into these details. Justice Gendel acknowledged the presence of Manning's family and friends and the loss they had suffered. He said Fawcett had played a role in luring Mallory into a car on Manchester Street. He said an innocent life was taken suddenly, violently and needlessly. Outside court, Robert Manning said the sentencing marked was the first step of justice for his sister's killing. He was pleased with the 20-year non-parole period. He said, "I don't think we'll be celebrating it, though." He said, "We're happy with the outcome and it is longer than we thought it would be, but until more people are brought to justice, the community is actually at risk, so that should be the main focus." Robert Manning had faith police would arrest Fawcett's co-offenders. The trial and sentencing had been difficult, especially listening to the horrible details of his sister's murder with Fawcett sitting 3 metres away. He said, "I hope no one else has to go through this." Gosh, I couldn't even imagine having to sit 3 metres away from that person and listening to the horrible details. My heart goes out to her family and friends. Manning's boyfriend Kent said she had been a beautiful, fun-loving young woman who was viciously taken away from me and everyone she touched. "She inspired me to be better," he told the court. "We loved each other in the most passion-filled days of my life. She pushed me into getting on the right path with my life. She was 1 in a billion." Gorey said outside court he would only be happy when the rest of them are charged. "The police know who they are. He's named them all except Mr. B. I know they're still out and about." He hoped Fawcett would have sleepless nights for the next 20 years in jail. He said he's the one that's got to live with it now. So that's all I'm going to go through. I wanted to find parts where it said what type of person she was, and it just sounds like she was a beautiful, beautiful young lady and did not deserve this. Obviously, there's lots of stuff that I'm not going to say on this video because it's very gruesome and horrible and barbaric, and if you want to go and read more, then you're more than welcome to. Links in the description box below. Crimestoppers number up the top there, please. If you have any information, anything at all, give this number a ring. You can be anonymous, and the family really needs your help. So thanks very much for listening. I'm TJ. It's been great to see you again. See you next time, guys. Bye.